Hi guys, anyone there? All right, looks like there's some people connected. Okay, I'll use Slack for chat then if anyone's got any questions or anything. Cool. All right, we'll start. Never know if this thing's working. Oops. Oh, sorry, yeah, just hit this YouTube link, that should work. All right, I'll stop messing around then. I'll just give it one more minute then if anyone else wants to join. Yeah, I'm not sure who that child is. Okay, so today's show and tell is not really related to work at all. Just something I was playing around with. I thought was pretty interesting, perhaps. So it's got to do with like generating text from bodies of text using these things called Markov chains, which I'm not entirely sure what they are, but there's a whole Wikipedia article about them if you should so wish. Basically, we're going to take a body of text and then break it up and just kind of generate the probability of what the next letter is. So these things, Markov chains, they're used in kind of Twitter bots and things like that. This Markov thing that takes all of Garfield text and randomly generates it. So that's what we're going to look at. Okay, so the way we're going to do it is take some input text. So I just got a test one here. And then we're going to break it up into these things called n-grams, where n is, well, a number of letters. N letters. So in this case, it would be mud, and then UD space, D space, I, etc., etc. And then we're going to take the letter immediately following that little portion and then add it to a list. So we end up with this map, right? So mud, then mud could be followed by either space or by a D, right? So mud space there, and then on the end here is MUDD. And similarly with COE, it could be COE space or COE L. Right, so this is just a little bit of it, but obviously there'd be more, so you'd end up with the followed by a list with, I guess, just one space. Okay, so the thing I'm using here is this Jupyter Notebooks, which you can like put Markdown into. So it's this, everything is a cell in here. So a cell can either be code or Markdown. Not sure where that thing is. And the code in here is Python, but this thing can run different, what are they called? Kernels or shells or something. So you can run JavaScript in here or Python or R or any other number of languages. So I've just got this sheet, notebook prepared here just with some text of what we're going to do, and I'll just fill in the code as we go along, right? So the steps are going to be, we got just some sample input data here. So the thing with Jupyter Notebooks is when you press execute the cell, it will run the code. So if I say print here, hi, oops, you just get hi there. Or the last variable, if you just leave it in there. So input, it's just going to print out the input string there. Okay, so what do we want to do? Everyone on board? Right. So we need to take our input string here and break it up into this map, right? So we'll generate our map here. Map, and we want to add in or put in our source text and the size of this engram thing. So in an example here, the engram was 3 letters, but we can tweak it up and down, just play around with it. So let's create an empty map. And then so we'll say for I in range 0 to the length of the source text minus the engram size plus 1, I guess. So this is going to break out the engram. So we'll say source text, and then just to do a substring. So we'll say I engram size. Right. So just printed these out. We should see all the 3-letter bits. Engram. Yeah, well, we'll have to call it first, obviously. And just pass in that input that we had up there. And we get an error because we need to say the size, right? So 3 characters. That obviously should be I plus engram size. Yeah, that's better, right? So mod ud space d space I, etc., etc. Okay, so that works. So now we need to find the following letter. So plus 1. So let's see the following letters. Yeah, okay, so I, well, space I, S. All right, that's all right. Okay, so we've got the engram and the following letter. So if it's not in our current map, then we'll add it in. And we'll just set it to a blank list. So the list is where we're going to store all the following letters. Okay, so all right, so that should be enough to create the map. So we'll just return the map. Right, okay, so that works. You can see mod down here. Where is it? Mod. So mod can either be followed by a space or D. So what we're going to do then to generate the text is pick the engram and then randomly pick one of the following letters. So if there was multiple Ds, then D would be more likely to be picked randomly. So that's the kind of random Markov chain aspect to it. So that works. So let's just get rid of that. Okay, so the next bit then, we've got our map and we want to randomly pick a letter. Everyone still there? Anyone still there? Okay, so def generate, what should we call it? Next letter. Okay. Let's move on. Let's go to get next letter. Get next letter. And we want to give it the map and the engram. So we'll say if the engram is in the map, then the list of possible next letters is equal to the value of that engram in the map. Else, if it's not there, then I guess we'll return the space. So we've got the list of possible next letters, so let's return a random choice. And we need to import random for that, so import random. Okay, so test that out. Get next letter, and then we use the function we just did up here. What's it called? Generate map. Generate map. Input 3, and let's start it off, or let's test it just with mud. So D, so you should randomly get D or space here. Okay, that's all right. Comment that out. All right, so we've got our map, and we've got some mechanism to choose a next character. So this is the next bit that'll generate the text. So def generate text. That's it in our map. Length. And the length of the engram we're using. All right, so let's store the current engram we're looking at in a list. So this is just going to pick the first one. I guess we could randomly pick one, but it seems to work for now, so let's do that. Output. So this is our output text. We'll just initialize it here. So from 0 to the length. So the length is the length of the new text we want to generate. So we'll say the new letter then is the next letter from the map for the current engram. And we'll just add on that letter output. And we'll set the new engram to the last 3 characters of the output file. So this is the length output. Just doing the substring again, and the length of the output. Okay, so we'll just return the output. And that should be enough to get it going. Let's check if it works. Map from the input. Let's say length 3. 30 characters and 3. Oh, and we've got to print this out. Yeah, so it's just randomly generating text from our small. So the thing with these things is the more text you can give it, the better. at the moment that sentence is tiny, so it's not going to generate great results. So the interesting part is when you start feeding it larger amounts of text, right? Any questions on that so far? No? All right, so let's feed it some text then and see what happens. So I have got some text saved here, right? So there's a EPM blog that I found on the Bluefin website. There's a SAP blog on Leonardo that I just copied the text out of. And to make it interesting, I've got Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven, and the lyrics to Snow's Informer, if any of you are old enough to remember that particular ditty. Right, so let's read in these files then. So let's say snow is equal to file.read open, and these live in vagrant data. Snow.text. Okay, so hopefully that's read that in. There it is, snow. And let's have Leonardo. Right, so that's coming in as well. All right, so let's say our input text is now snow, let's say Leonardo plus snow. And we want to run our generator on that. Okay, so the result is generate text, generate the map, input, and let's try with 5 characters. And let's generate 500 character text, 5. And then I forgot to print the result. Yeah, so this is the weird bit when it starts generating some, let's generate some longer text. Try the Raven. You can see that it's generates something a little more like it. So you do get some weird words in it, but the more text you give it, the more realistic the output. So I'm not sure what a destructor network is, but in fact, we can give it all of it actually. So we'll say the blog is equal to blog.text and change it now. Snow plus Raven plus blog. And then this thing started to get weird. Connective thing daddy me ability to. So yeah, it generates some quite funny stuff. Might get a bit longer. So if you reduce, I think if you increase the length of these, it should start to get a bit more legible. So Leonardo bridge come crawl true. Yeah, so hopefully that's like, there's only a very small amount of code there. First read about this in this book called Programming Pearls, which is pretty interesting. So check that out. Yeah, so anyone got any questions or any questions about Jupyter Notebook or Python or this stuff? I've only just been playing around with this, so I'm no expert, but easy to set up. I think the best way is to download this Anaconda thing. So you get that Jupyter thing and you get all the packages that you might want for like data science or machine learning type stuff. It's pretty handy. Or the other way you can do it is Microsoft offer this free notebooks thing. So it's like a hosted version of it. It comes with some sample notebooks that you can run. So it's the same thing, just hosted by on Azure for free, which is quite nice. So there's lots of stuff in here about generating graphics and charts and things like that. So I don't know if anyone's still watching, but that's pretty much all I have. Just gonna write some more text. Very amusing. Okay, so yeah, I'm nearly there for time. The one other thing I had was like connecting to SAP. It's like semi-work related. What do I want? VPN. What's my password? Oh, thanks, guys. Right. So yeah, I'm nearly there for time. So I'll publish this. Well, I mean, there's not much code there. It's pretty. Hopefully, I'll give you a flavor of Jupyter Notebook. It's pretty easy to use. Connecting to SAP. So if you want to connect this thing to SAP, so it comes with a load of built-in modules, but the one that you want for SAP is like a third-party one, so you'll need to add that in yourself manually, which is a bit tricky. Well, it's tricky for some of my limited capabilities, but there's a decent enough guide about installing it. So you have fun going on SAP Software Center and SAP Car and all those good things. But anyway, so if you do want to do that and you have any questions about it, give me a shout because I got it working. Right, so it's you import this PyRFC and basically then you can call function modules via RFC, right? So this is like a basic function module that echoes back the text. Let's see if it works then. So it's connected to SAP there. Here's another one that will call the function module th user list, which will get a list of logged on users. Okay, so you can see these guys are logged on, and because it's Python, it's super easy to use. You don't have to mess around with types or anything, so it just passes back a dictionary or a map, whatever you want to call it. So pretty easy to use. You don't have to like type anything, which is nice. Yeah, so yeah, that's Jupyter Notebooks, and hope you like that. Right. Right, does anybody have any questions at all, or I'll wrap it up? Let's generate one more load of text then. SAP Cloud Platforms from Jamaica. Love it. Yeah, I guess I think the only difference is Anaconda packages up like scikit-learn and TensorFlow and all those things that I don't know how to use. Anyway, yeah, it's good if you like, if you're looking at starting to look at machine learning stuff, because once you've got this, basically everything seems to work. Like, so if I wanted to like import learn, I don't have to go around installing it. I don't know how to use it really. So the other thing is, yeah, you can use tab to do code completion. It's not like proper IDE, it doesn't work that well, but works well enough. Cool, yeah, I'll have to check those out. I don't know if it actually does include TensorFlow. Is it import TensorFlow? It's like TF or something, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, anyway, I'll wrap it up there, guys, because nearly out of time. So thanks very much for everyone for watching. See you later.